Hello and welcome. Didn't say anything right away. So, welcome everybody. How it is Monday. It is Memorial Day in the United States. So, blessings. It is their Remembrance Day. For us in Canada, November 11th is our Remembrance Day for all those who have fought in wars or who are still fighting in wars. So, much blessings going out to all the soldiers and those who are afflicted by the atrocities of war. So I'm welcoming everybody on this lovely moon day. It's May 31st and 2021. Wow, we got a little bit of Eris in the air. I mean, she is really stirring up the pot today. So we got this little energy of of things being said. So things might be said today that a little bit of what I'm going to call a passive aggressive energy that's coming in today. Um, and this passive aggressive energy that's going to come forth that is really things said, maybe, that with that, especially with the moon in Aquarius, and it's doing a semi-sextile with Chiron. And then we have the moon, it's trining Neptune, and then with a moon trining Athena. So we have this energy of animosity that's coming in, of questioning, maybe saying things that you've spent a little bit of time with somebody and it's just like, yeah, I'm done. I'm done hanging out. It's like when relatives stay too long for their weekend, you're just like, okay, it's about time you guys can go. I need to get back to my life. And with Mercury retrograde, sextiling Eris, it gets you a little bit mad and upset. I mean, she's coming in with this cray-cray energy of getting you a little bit aggravated. There's a lot of aggravation going on out there. And we're seeing it. You can see it with people frustrated with things that have happened in the past, things that are happening now. There is these mean things are quickly said. So people being just a little bit not nice. And, there is a conversation, there's a little bit of a conversation. Did they, did they really mean what they said? Is that really true? Why would they say that? And then you're sort of going to sit with it for a little bit and you're going to be like, ooh, and then have a little chat maybe with a friend and say, did they do that? Why did they say it? Well, it's not the first time they've said something about that about you. And you're just like, whoa, really? So you might get a little snippety back with that too. So it's staying in your values, staying in what you believe in, not following just because someone said something nasty about you that you just go off and throw a tantrum. We're coming into where Venus is near the ending of Gemini. So she's maturing. She's becoming that 27-year-old Venus, that 27-year-old enlightened being of knowing things a little bit wiser, a little bit more knowledgeable. And in having that knowledge, she's like, I'm not going to get into your petty shit. I'm not going to fall in for the pettiness. If we want to make a change, if we're wanting to make something different, I'm not going to follow into the pettiness of the past. I'm going to try and create something of the future. I'm going to create something of the now. And in doing that in the present, and in doing that with my values and what I feel is within my intuition and my divineness. Now that brings in love. That brings in this peace and tranquility. When you're in the energies of love, you're not looking for pettiness. You're not looking for an argument, especially as Eris is, she loves to stir the pot. She likes to get people going. She threw the apple in the middle of the wedding and said, who's the fairest one of all? And of course, all the goddesses are, whoa, who is the fairest one of all? And you get hung up on it. Like, who cares? Who's the fairest? We're all the fairest ones of all. But when we start comparing, or we start to compete. We're trying to outdo the next person or outbid the next person instead of trying to create a place that brings in the harmony and the peace and the tranquility, to bring in a place that is filled with more, the word, I don't want to use the word peace again, but I want to use, that brings in more love, more joy. And that's where it's like, where are we going forward? That's where I want to know. What are the steps that you want to take to go forward? Letting go of energies of the past and seeing things and atrocities that have happened in the past or in your own past. How can we move forward from that to create and not point fingers and forgive? That's where, because with Eris comes in, I mean, she comes in with this little energy of trying to create something. Because as the moon approaches at 10 degrees to the north node, choose my options. Do my own thing. What is my thing? What is the thing I need to do to create and move towards my greatness, my love, my prosperity? That's where this energy is. This energy is wanting us to move, not to bring in, when we bring in conflict and we bring in war or this one and that one, what it creates is a division, a divide. Instead of coming into this harmony and peace. And for some reason I'm getting this image, and now y'all know I'm not big I reading the Bible and stuff, but this image of Jesus going to the well, and this, I think it's a Sumerian woman. I mean, you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but here she comes in, and here's Jesus, going to get some water, and here's this woman there, and he goes, why don't you come join us? And she goes like, I don't know you. Why would I want to go join you? And he goes, well, I know you. And she goes, how do you know me? Because I know you. I know who you are. I know who you slept with. How does you have my girls been talking to you? Like this energy of like, how do you know who I am? But what he's saying is that I know you as a beautiful, energetic being. And it doesn't matter who you're with. It doesn't matter who what you've done in the past. What does matter is where you are now and where you want to go forward in. And that's the message of this energy as we're stepping into this week. This week is going to be challenging for you. Challenging in a way of saying, how can we go forward without causing division? Because I think this week is going to bring in a lot of divisions, a lot of people, a lot of anger coming in, a lot of anger. I think that Eris is really, with Mercury retrograding, sextiling Eris, gets you mad and upset, and mean things come out quickly. And the moon says to Mars, really? Did they say that to me? And as the moon sextiles Eris as well. So here's Eris, doing her thing with the moon and with Mercury. And here she is. She's just, stirring up this pot of saying, how angry can I get you? Right? And that's not what we want to do, because it comes in when when the sun finally comes in, and here's the sun saying, hey, you know what? Let's ask some questions. Let's go into our truth, our knowledge of what we do know and what we do have. And this is bringing in more options, and this is allowing us to stand in more into our power and bring in that beautiful energy of the mana and bring in that energy of the chi. When we can do that, that creates a lot more peace and love into this world. I think we're going to be needing it this week. This week is going to be a I'm going to call it a hairy carry week. I'm going to call it a cray cray week because we are in between eclipses. It is going to be where misinformation is going to come in, and information of sources that are going to come forth to create an animosity, a division, where energy or people saying, or some people are saying, and they want to dismantle everything, or dismantle that of what is there, which sometimes I'm saying dismantling isn't a bad thing, right? You know, your hair is looking great now. Thank you. I took and dismantling of things now. So this is where the energies, as we go through this week, what is dismantling in your life? How are you working with this dismantling, this energy that's coming in that wants to create a more harmony and peace? But in order to create that harmony and peace, in order for us to get there, there's going to be a lot of dismantling. There's going to be a lot of energies that are going to come in to get you to not be there, not be in that of what you value, or try to tear you away, try to knock you down in some way. And this is where it's like, okay, I got to find a place. I got to find where I can stand in my value. I got to find that my passion of where I need to go. And sometimes that is education. Sometimes it is a place where, okay, I need to understand this a little bit more. I don't want to speak out about something or say something. I need to understand it. But this is where the North Node is. I need to question both sides. Right or wrong? Why did this happen? How did it happen? Why are they saying these things? What other things have, like, this is questioning before you actually commit to something, right? So this is where this energy is coming forth. It's saying we got to question, we got to come forth and ask questions. Ask these questions. Okay, where are we going from here? What does it mean when we're opening up everything again? Why are we, if it's, why is there such a push for a vaccination? Why is there such a push for something that seems to not be as bad as what the flu was, or pneumonia, or other things that we catch? Why is there such a, whatever it is, happening that we need to be aware of? Or why is this being brought up now? These are the questions we need to ask. And I feel, because I'm on a public thing, I'm not going to say too much. And it's not that I don't say anything that's not politically incorrect, but it's just for us to really ask a lot of questions. Nobody on this earth, whatever culture you come from, whatever, has not done something horrible upon somebody else in the name of conquering, in the name of taking over. Nobody on this earth has been here and has been peaceful and tranquil the whole time and not done some crazy, horrific things. And that's where we have to acknowledge and go forward from. Not saying, yes, wrong, fine, let's go forward. How do we go forward? We go forward with forgiveness. We go forward and take that step and say, okay, let's make a better place for everybody. How do we do this? That means I'm not going to push my agenda on you. And why should you push your agenda on me? It's standing in your own unique individual. And this means that you're standing there with the love, with the value. That doesn't mean that you're being a dickhead. That doesn't mean that you're being a bastard about shit. That means that you are standing in this place of saying, okay, that's where you want to be. Cool. That's your belief. Cool. But that's maybe not my belief. That's not maybe where I come from. And that's okay. And when we can get to that place, which is a very hard place to get to, which is where This is why there's so much crisis in the world. This is why there's so much crazy in the world. It's because we are trying to get to a place where we haven't been, or if we have been, it was the last time, maybe it was Atlantis. We haven't really been to a place where it brings in so much peace and harmony. But yet, through that, there's always this heiress that comes in that wants to stir the pot, that wants to say mean things quickly and try and get you to be upset and mad and trigger you. We're in a huge change. We're in this and dare I do say reset? And that's where we're at. And the reset's not just for it's for all of us. But what does that mean? That's my question. It's like, what does that mean? What does that look like? We all have different theories about it. We all have different ideas about it. But I keep coming back to that Jesus at the well with that Sumerian woman of saying, I know who you are, and it doesn't matter. We could still sit and have a meal, right? And at the beginning of this year, and I think I mentioned it, is like inviting the bad witch to the meal. Inviting the bad witch to the meal. Inviting that, as Rumi says, whatever's at that doorway, invite it in. Invite it in, because the only way we can heal it, the only way we can change it is inviting it in. You know, Eris is stirring this up, and I'm bringing in Eris very strongly because she's making really strong, energies in the heavens right now. She's stirring things up. Why? Because we have to awaken to something. We have to find out and ask, okay, why did that person say a bad thing about me? Why am I not being accepted over here? I would like to know so that maybe I can change. Maybe I could, understand so I don't do it again. Or maybe I could just say, thanks for the information. But that's just the way that's, I'm not going to change. I feel comfortable with who I am. This is the strongness, right? Right? This is, you could feel it all in the crowd. And yes, it is this coming forth, right? This renewal. And you got to ask questions why certain things come up at a certain time, right? Why is this such a big thing? And I am going to say this, sending out blessings to all of those children who died. Okay? Blessings to them. Blessing to the atrocities of all of that's happened. Eris loves that kind of shit. She really does. And I find it very interesting that all of this comes up, and then Eris is making her little sextiles to everything because they are atrocities. Okay? But where do we go from here? Where do we go from here? That's my thing. It's like pointing fingers. We can point fingers. We can go do this. We can go. But how can we go and bring in the peace and the harmony? That's where it's at. And I feel like it's like people are missing that point where whatever colonization, whatever it is, the Romans did it. The Babylons did it. The Egyptians did it. The Vikings did it. Do you not think the tribes did it in Africa? Did you not think that the tribes in North America did it, or the tribes in South America do it? We're all guilty in some way, in some format. So now let us walk away. Let us open up that, let it go. And how can we go forward with it? I can see people getting into a panic. Yes. And that's the thing. Where do we go forward from this? Where do we, because more truth is going to come out. And some of the truths, this is nothing of what the bullshit that's going to come out. Like, this is to me a diversion for other shit that's going to be coming forward. And with a lot of powers that be that are coming in. The fact the flag wasn't lowered halfway was disgusting. Yeah, nor will it. It's not going to be lowered. You know, that's the thing. It's not going to be lowered. And it's like, this isn't going to be the only school that they're going to find this at. Right? It's not going to be the only children that this has happened to. You know, there's going to be more. But this is, let me tell you, like, with the astrology, and as we go forward with this, and, you know, I'm bringing in Eris because Eris is doing her shit. There's more to it. And Eris is a goddess of conflict. She's a goddess of bringing in horrific things that you, atrocities. That's Eris. And if Eris can stir the pot with Mercury retrograde, because of course, when Mercury retrogrades in Gemini, you're not going to think straight. You're going to be all over the place. You're going to fumble with your words. Things aren't going to come together. Where's the healing? Because the sun hits the north node and it says, are you questioning both sides? Are you questioning either side of the equation? Both, it doesn't matter. Even within the vaccines, are you questioning both sides? Are you finding it? Or are you just doing it because you want fucking stampede? That's a question. Right? This is where we're at. And it's shocking that people seem to think it's the only school. And we're going to hear horrific stories about these people. We're going to hear horrific stories about what happened in these schools. Yes. And there's more. But here's the other thing. Are we hearing the horrific stories that happened to these girls on Epstein? Are we hearing what these horrible men did and the atrocities that they're doing? Are you listening to the stories and the horrific things that are happening on the Mexican border? To the children that are being enslaved and taken as sex slaves? Eris comes in and says, are you looking at that? These ones are alive. Are you looking at the ones that are alive and trying to save them? What about the Mexicans? Are they not people? It is horrific, but that's what you have to look at. This is going forward. How can we go forward with this and create something better? Are you looking at all those young girls that are being traded in Dubai right now and sold off, and all the children throughout Africa? Still being done. But we close our eyes. This is easier. Eris is going to bring out some atrocities, some things that are so far out and so fucked up. But the sun coming in with the north node, are you questioning these things? It starts at grassroots levels. It starts at the level of education for yourself, starts at the grassroots level of educating the children you do have and bringing in the respect and the love. That's where it starts. It's not a competition. You're right, Candace. But people are making it a fucking competition. Same with the things with the vaccine. People are making it a fucking competition. I got it. Look at me. I got my Target card. Well, God bless your fucking Target card. You know what? I'm going to bless you, because you know what? We don't know what's going to happen to you in 5 years, and the type of things that they're saying that can happen with this vaccine. They don't know. That's the other thing. They don't know. And if the thing with I'm just thinking is like it's supposed to be so bad in India. Do you think that supposedly virus is going to stay in India that is so bad and horrific? And it is the Indian variant. We can call it the Indian variant, but we can't call it the China virus. the Indian variant or the South African variant or the British variant or the New York variant. Anyways, that's a whole nother kettle of fish. That things are you looking at that? There's other things to be concerned about right now. Blessings to them. Let's look at our food shortage, things that you can handle. Are you looking at the food that's going to be happening? Are you looking at the food shortages that are going to be coming forward? Are you going to be able to help your neighbor when, with whatever? This is a time, it's springtime, stocking up. Maybe, again, here's the same thing I said last year. Let's start preparing, right? Let's start preparing, right? When people play on words. Yes. So let's start preparing right now. How can you prepare for the winter? Yeah, we have a beautiful week this week coming into Calgary. Beautiful week. Hot, warm, but how are we going to go forward to start to prepare? That means when you go out, maybe it's time for you to buy an extra thing of a case of tomatoes. Maybe it's going to be where, I love this type of soup. Buy an extra case of that soup. Maybe it's time for you to start looking at other things. A couple of days in the 30s. Yeah, it's going to be really hot. So this is where we have to start looking, because people aren't looking at that. People are not looking at the things that are happening. Did you know that there was a huge protest with the farmers in France because they didn't want them to plow their fields? Like, what the fuck? Are you looking at what's happening in the United States with the bill that they want to pass where they can't slaughter the cows because of it's going to be environmentally unfriendly? These, to me, are the concerns, because this is the concern for not only my welfare, but the welfare of my grandson and the welfare of the next generations. That's where we need to look at our focus and put our energy there, and put our energy in bringing in community gardens, educating yourself on how to do a patio garden. Maybe it's starting to look at different ways of canning. I'm thinking of getting a pressure canner and looking at a pressure canner and doing that. So there's different things like that to start looking at. Although I'm the one who'd rather have somebody do the canning and I'll buy it from them. That's the way I look at things, because that's just not my forte. But that's the thing; it might be somebody else's forte. And that you work with them. Maybe you go and help them out with it. Maybe there's a group of women or men and women that want to get together and do a community kitchen and say, okay, let's gather, let's do some prepping, and let's, start making, canning some beef stew. Let's do some canning of this or that or whatever, beans, pickles, whatever. That's, to me, not getting into the stir pot of Eris and stepping away from the Eris, going into the sun with the North Node and coming into something that is going to be beneficial for us all in the long run. And that's, to me, where the energies need to bring into and go upon a newer, a brighter road and build in community, right? And build in community. So, I mean, maybe you're a sauerkraut fan and you know somebody who does sauerkraut or canned sauerkraut. Things like that. Somebody who's going to plant a lot of cabbage and do the cabbage thing. Last year we had a lot of cabbage and I didn't do the sauerkraut, but I did a lot of freezing. There's none left. And we used it in our stews and our soups and things like that. So there's so many things that we can do, making syrups and all kinds of great things that we can do, right? So this is starting to plan for what we need to do for over this next, because this winter is going to be very bleak. Just saying, it's going to be a bleak winter when it comes to stuff in the grocery stores and that. So I love Cap. So this is, yeah. So this is starting to plan and look ahead and not get into the passive aggressive energy, right? It's there. You have a choice. You can go into it or you can step away and go into a different direction. It's up to you, right? Because there is where you might be provoked today. People will be provoking you today, and that energy will be provoking. So it's like, nah, you know what? God bless you. You just stick and do your thing, right? So this is coming in and getting, don't get stuck on something. This is for us to broaden our consciousness and step into our values and do your own thing. Here we come. Venus is coming in. She's breaking away from the pack and she's saying, do your own thing, sweetie. Don't be following that bullshit. Don't be following that cray. And in doing that, what do I have here? Don't bite it. Inviting to tell the story with a different ending. Tell the story with a different ending. I love that. I wrote that this morning. What would you like? Pitch to the strength. What would you like and pitch to the strength? What kind of ending do you want? It's your ending. It's your day. It's a day never been lived before. How do you want to live it? How do you want to be it? Honor it. It's Monday, Moon Day. Bring in that energy of the moon. He's going to cuddle up with Jupiter and he's going to be coming into Pisces. So what do you want to cuddle up with? What is that you want to expand and grow? So that's where you need to put the energies. Somebody asked me, oh, are you going to put orange? No, I'm not going to put orange on my wall. Sorry, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to say my blessings to them. I'll light a candle and I'm going on my way. It is horrific. It's horrible, but there's more than them who have died. Sorry, there is. And that might be mean or horrible or whatever you want to think about it. Really, actually don't care. Because there's so many other atrocities that have happened to not only the indigenous, to the blacks, to many others, to the Asians, to all cultures. And it is horrible, but we got to move away from this and we got to start creating a stronger future. That's what we got to create. And in creating the stronger future doesn't mean that we forget the past. We understand the past, but we move forward in a stronger way and in education. So there you go, my loves. I want you to go forth and have a fabulous day. The Karmic Release Weekend is this weekend, June 4th, 5th, and 6th. If you care to join me, come on down. I think I have learned from the past. Exactly. Learn from the past. Let's move forward. But as that one, the 4 stages, I think it's called, it shows that history does repeat itself. Human beings are stupid. And I'm one of them. So join me if you want to join for this weekend. I think I have a space left. And have a fabulous day. Get out. If you're in Alberta, get out in the sun, baby. Get that vitamin D and embrace it. Embrace the love. Embrace the energies. Send forth the beautiful, mighty power that you have. And may the Lord and the Lady watch over and bless each and every one of you and all that you say and all that you do and all that you be. And they are trying to bury it. Yes, they are. Have a blessed one. Have a blessed one, everybody.